Hey y'all, welcome to episode 27 of Figuring It Out with Kelly Renee. I'm Kelly Renee. Hey, so I have a question for you. What is synchronicity? Synchronicity. There, I think that's how you pronounce it. Before we get started though, I want you to know I see you. I see your smiles and joyfulness. I see your tears and struggles and hurt feelings. I feel your loneliness and despair. I also celebrate with you. I celebrate your successes and the steps you're taking every day to be who you are. You go. No matter where you are today, I want you to know you are valued and loved and oh so precious. Thanks for stopping by. And thank you for the privilege of your time. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share this video if it's meaningful to you. Thanks again. So back to my question, what is synchronicity? According to one writer's view from Psychology Today, synchronicity is a phenomenon in which people interpret two separate and seemingly unrelated experiences as being meaningfully intertwined, even though there's no evidence that one led to the other or that the two events are linked in any other causal way. I'll put a link in the show notes if you want to read it. Here's why I ask. I was listening to a message from a church I used to attend in Tennessee. The pastor there was talking about his new role. See, he recently took over as interim pastor and discussed how he viewed his role as that of a coach. That sounded familiar. While he's been duly elected their leader, he admits he in no way has it all figured out. Also sounds familiar. He's not someone to be placed on a pedestal and revered above anyone else. Very humble. I thought that was a really cool approach. Now, while he may impart words of wisdom, living out the life of a modern Christian is more about the work we do personally and how we live our lives after we leave church. While he may inspire and provide direction, strategies, and tactics, the work is our own to do. It's interesting because another pastor I listened to had a similar thought in her message, different church. The work is ours to do. Yes, we can ask God to change us, and maybe the answer is, how are you willing to participate? One of my coaches had a similar message in an email I received the same day. See, we all want what we want, and yet we've got to be willing to do the work. Yes, it can be tedious. Yes, it's rarely fun, especially after we get started and the natural doubts about will I ever get there begin to set in. That's when thoughts like I'm not good enough or I don't have what it takes set in too. They're coming, you know they are. I had a similar conversation with someone very close to me who's experiencing a really hard time right now. I'm happy to support them through this time, but the work is still theirs to do. Now look, deciding to do the work isn't the work. The work is actually doing it. Thinking about doing the work doesn't get it done either. Wishing life were different doesn't change a thing. That's when reality kind of smacks us in the face. If we want things to be different, we need to be different. Maybe different focus, different responses, different habits, different thoughts, different friends. All of it can feel pretty scary. So what is it you want? It's a choice, and it's all yours to make. Will it be hard? Probably. Are there any guarantees the changes you want to make will make you happy? I don't know. What if there were? Would that make it any easier? Probably not, because you still need to do the work. See, I don't know about you, but this is where it gets really hard. See, I want the change, whatever that is for you, but I don't necessarily want to do the work. I'll give you an example. I used to play the guitar pretty regularly. I enjoyed it. It was a means of expression and release for me. Music has always been a huge factor in my life, although not nearly as much today as maybe it once was. When we lived in the Nashville area, I bought another guitar because, everyone in Nashville has a guitar, right? It sat on the top shelf of my bookcase longer than I care to admit, next to the bag from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It became ornamental. Now, over the years I've owned that guitar, I've probably picked it up maybe, a dozen times? The last few times just to move it from one place to another. Would I like to play it again? Sure, I would. Am I willing to practice and pay the price? I'm not. So now it sits in the case leaning against the wall in my office here. And if I played it, would it bring me joy? I don't know. But there it sits. Maybe one day I'll get more motivated. The point is the discipline and focus in light of all the distractions that cross my path every day can cause me to lose momentum and focus. And it becomes less about being distracted and more about getting back on track once I am. See, we don't live in a linear world. The rhythm of life kind of ebbs and flows like the tide. Every aspect of our life is important, and figuring out how to balance all of its demands is super important. What's not helpful is when we beat ourselves up for allowing life to interrupt. It's gonna happen. Maybe accepting the interruptions as part of life will allow us to get back to the work sooner. I don't know. Last week we talked about the importance of radical self-acceptance. And if you didn't catch it, you can go back and listen. I think it's episode 26. Here's the thing, and this is something I really want us to think about. We can accept life is going to be hard sometimes. It just is. We can accept that we're going to make mistakes. We're going to. We're not perfect. That doesn't mean we're any less capable or less valuable when we do. Well, when you get to the point where you're ready to make some changes, make some new decisions, when you're ready, I can help. I'm thinking about y'all today. And remember, life's too short. Be kind. Do good. We'll talk soon.